study,
and play come together on a Windows 11 PC.
And for a limited time, college students get
The best of both worlds.
Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
From origin to legend.
I need to become a symbol. I need to become Batman.
Become the hero.
Someone's gotta step up.
Build the legacy.
Let's get to work. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. I'm allergic to nuts.
Lego Batman, Legacy of the Dark Knight.
This is my favorite part.
Out now on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and PC.
Rated E10 for ages 10 and up.
Hey everybody, it's Justin. Let's talk about the game of Deprogrammed. It's Friday, which means technically a Q&A, but Gavin asked a really good one, and while I don't think I'm going to talk long about it, it is something I kind of want anybody who listens to this to focus on. So if you listen to this and you are not in the Discord, por favor, hop in the Discord. The Legion of Stupid Discord is a great place to be. If you are in the Discord, make sure you're checking out the Deprogrammed channel where conversations like these are happening. I'd love everybody to get in and jump in on this. So Gavin says, "Hey Justin, this is not a suggestion, just something I've been curious about. Did you ever think about other game mechanics, like giving the players points to spend on songs or something like that? Basically, different ways to gamify Deprogrammed. Did you talk this out with any of your early collaborators? I like the Blur convo with Jenny where she was talking about how the game has changed since the early days. Super interesting. So let's tackle this first. Yes and no. As we've talked about, and which ended up spurring Anderson into a spiral of trying to make baseball cards essentially for all the panelists. That's the only level I've thought of as far as, like a stat or something. I do think there's something to that, to what you're saying though, like points. I'm careful, and this is because you brought this up in a conversation, I think, on After the Fact, or it may have been like kind of just, in passing with Anderson. But we were talking about doing not changing your gameplay. And I don't want people to change the way they play much, right? Like, I don't want people to be playing just to get points. I do think there's something to a point system, though. Like, I don't know if it would be... Like, the first thing that came to my head when I was thinking about it earlier today was, a point if you are the one who picked the unanimous, So, like, I toss out a song and it's unanimous, that's a point for me. Like... a tenth of a point. I mean, I know we're getting into decimals here. Tenth of a point for a binner. I don't know, half a point for something. See, and this is where the statistics would really come in. So if it's a 3-person panel, a 2 would get you a half point. Or a 2 would get you 3/4 of a point. I don't know. That's a thought. Because then my thought was, like, if it's a 4-person panel, or 4 or greater, I guess, if you only get a 2, because we've talked about this before, 2s are less likely to get in especially on a 5 or greater. 2 is basically dead in the water. So it would get, less of a percentage than somebody who put out something that got almost everybody on board. I don't know. Again, that's thinking too hard. But I think there's something to, like, unanimous. The thing is with the final say, like, you're already getting an instant reward where you get to pick that 10th song. But I think... Well, let's go to, because Brian responded. I will say Anderson said, funny that you mentioned brackets. Stay tuned. We'll get back to that one. But Brian said, I've thought about what to do if someone picks 10 unanimous, and that's what it comes out to. Like, they earn 1 immunity they can use in any future episode or something, or 1 veto is what Brian's response to that part was. I mean, I haven't thought about it in depth. And most of the people that listen to these dailies are people who do the show. And if you're not, come do the show. But if you are one of the people that does do the show, that is listening to this, come chat about this. Like, I'd be interested if to hear if it would change the way you play. If you were able to score points, and what are things that it could go to. I do like the idea of like a veto, or, something for, getting a little extra weight on picking the number 1 overall, something like that. I don't know. Like, it's interesting. I would like to gamify it a little bit more if we can, like to make it a little bit more game showy, but, I also don't want it to lose what it has. So I believe there's a fine balance, and I'm open to hearing suggestions. And as I mentioned, the best place to do that is the Legion of Stupid Discord in the Deprogram channel. So please consider that. If you're listening to this, you listen to the show and absolutely hate that idea, it's pertinent that you're in there, because we need to hear that you as a listener to the show would not like that. But anybody who's listening to this, make sure get your voices heard on this, because I'm open to it. Gavin also added, would you consider publishing a March Madness bracket poll to decide the next championship edition? I'm only asking because I think it's fun to vote in those polls and watch the field shrink down to 1. Absolutely. When I initially read this, for some reason I thought it had said for like the best of, and I don't really want to change the way we do the best of, but like, I'm wholly open to doing that for Championship Edition. I mean, the thing about it being March Madness would be we only do, we have the entire backlog of episodes minus at this point REM, Radiohead, and Pearl Jam, and now Green Day is working. So, I mean, we have years upon years of bands to pick through. I like that. As far as for Championship Edition, that's a thought. I also thought about doing something similar, like with our lists, like doing a March Madness list, like our Sparks list versus our Pearl Jam list, our Sugar list versus our Husker Du list, things like that. Presented as a March Madness. So let's think on that. There is something there, and I feel like there's episodes to be done with that too. Like, probably dailies, but like there's episodes. That's content, brother. That's unfortunate that my brain works that way. So, all right. So that's the Q&A for this week. Would love anybody and everybody's input on this. Like I said, deprogrammed channel in the Legion of Stupid server is the best way to reach out about this. If you are listening to the radio station, I'd like to hear which songs you like. If you aren't but would like to, there's a channel for that in the Legion of Stupid Discord too, or just ask me for the link, whichever way. We're starting to add, like Anderson has a sponsored hour. John is hosting an hour. Chris Schultz is working on a hosted hour. I'm going to be doing your music show on there, trying to do it at least once a week. I'm starting to put episodes that Deprogrammed on. I think I've talked about this. Reckless Abandons, the Blink pod that Joe and I did/do. And is there something else I put up there?
Expedia and Visit Scotland invite you to come step into centuries of history that await in Scotland. Castles steeped in legend walk along cobblestone streets. Come share the warmth of stories passed down through generations. This is a place with a past that is fully present today and all yours to explore. Plan your Scottish escape today at expedia.com/Visit Scotland.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. The Four Seasons is back for season 2, starring Tina Fey, Will Forte, Coleman Domingo, Marco Calvani, Carrie Kenny Silver, and Erica Henningsen. After a difficult year, your favorite group of friends continues their tradition of vacationing together, now with a baby in tow. From the Jersey Shore to upstate New York and Italy, their getaways are sure to take unexpected turns where comedy ensues. Watch The Four Seasons, now streaming only on Netflix.
I swear there's something else, but it's not coming to me right now. Oh well. Probably episodes of Popped. Keith reached out and said that he would get me a couple episodes of Popped that I could put up there. So the reality is I just kind of need to know where to put everything and where people would most likely, or where and when most people would most likely listen, is what I was trying to say. So at this point I've yapped entirely too long. Have a great weekend, everybody. We will see you on Monday. Bye.